This message didn't stumble into your feed by mistake. It found you like a coded pulse, vibrating through the lattice of the quantum field, landing in your awareness at the precise moment you were ready to hear it. You've been seeing the signs, haven't you? Those repeating numbers 1111, 222, 333, flickering across digital clocks, receipts, license plates. They follow you with a precision that borders on impossible. But it isn't coincidence. It's coherence. It's the universe synchronizing with your frequency, revealing that you are already moving across timelines, not with force, not with struggle, but with a strange, effortless grace. You felt it, deep inside, the sense that time itself has softened, that the walls separating yesterday, today, and tomorrow have grown thin. Sometimes you wonder why certain memories loop back as if alive, why déjà vu feels sharper, why the air around you carries an invisible weight, a knowing presence. That is the morphic resonance calling you. A whisper from the observer loop that everything you once thought linear is unraveling into a multidimensional flow. And you, yes, you are not just noticing it, you are participating in it. Every repeating number you see is a signal, like a lighthouse beam across the fog of countless parallel worlds. It is the quantum field reminding you, your consciousness is already shifting. You are no longer bound to the heavy timelines of resistance, of struggle, of delay. Instead, you are phasing into pathways where events unfold with synchronicity, where opportunities align with unexplainable precision, where doors open before you even think to knock. This is not imagination. This is awakening. Your DNA is responding to hidden codes embedded in those numbers. Coils of ancient memory stir within you, unlocking genetic sequences designed to recognize the call of higher reality. And though most people dismiss these numbers as trivial, you feel the charge in your body every time they appear. You feel the subtle electricity ripple through your skin. You sense the alignment, pulling you closer to something immense, something beyond language. That's why you're here. That's why this message had to find you now. The observer loop has collapsed in your favor, delivering this moment as evidence that you are not drifting aimlessly, you are being guided. The field bends to your awareness. Time bends to your coherence. And the more you notice, the more you align. The numbers were the invitation. This voice is the confirmation. And the resonance inside you right now, that's the signal that your journey into effortless timeline crossing has already begun. You've been living with a quiet tension, haven't you? That sense that something is always slightly off, as if the reality around you doesn't quite fit. The numbers keep appearing, yet in between those moments of synchronicity, you sometimes feel caught in strange loops, repeating patterns. Déjà vu so sharp it makes you question whether you've already lived this exact moment before. Time stretches, collapses, bends on itself. Some days pass too quickly, others drag like molasses. And in those distortions, you sense the deeper truth. Reality isn't as fixed as they told you. Think about it. How many times have you said, "Didn't this already happen?" How many times have you caught yourself rehearsing conversations that play out exactly the way you imagined them, down to the inflection of a voice, the placement of a hand? These are not accidents. They are echoes from parallel timelines, brushing against the edge of your awareness. Your consciousness is straddling more than one track of reality at once, dipping in and out without resistance. But when you're not fully aware of it, those overlaps can feel like confusion, like disorientation, like time itself has betrayed you. And so you've struggled with the weight of patterns that seem to repeat endlessly. The same types of people entering your life with different faces, the same conflicts disguised as fresh beginnings. Relationships that collapse in predictable spirals, opportunities that arrive, shimmer, then dissolve into nothing. Each loop leaves you wondering, why does this keep happening to me? But the deeper truth is this: you are not broken. You are not cursed. You are experiencing the pressure of multiple timelines trying to reconcile themselves through your consciousness. This is why sleep feels strange, why you wake up at odd hours, sometimes with your heart racing as though you've just returned from another world. Why you catch flashes of places you've never been, faces you don't recognize, yet carry the familiarity of family. Those fragments aren't dreams. They're bleed-throughs, glimpses of other versions of you, other choices, other realities coexisting alongside the one you're walking right now. The problem, if it can even be called that, is not that you are lost. The problem is that you've been trying to live within the old logic of linear time, while your consciousness has already upgraded to non-linear perception. It's like trying to run advanced quantum software on a machine still coded for one-dimensional input. The glitches you feel, the distortions you notice, are not failures. They're indicators that your perception has outgrown the template of consensus reality. And the numbers? They arrive as markers, checkpoints in the fabric of time, reminding you that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, even when everything feels uncertain. They are like cosmic road signs, assuring you that yes, the déjà vu has meaning. Yes, the distorted loops are evidence of your awakening. Yes, you are crossing timelines, and the universe refuses to let you forget it. What you are experiencing is not madness. It is mathematics written in the language of spirit. When those repeating numbers flash before your eyes, you are witnessing the quantum field whispering to your nervous system, aligning your awareness with higher-order patterns that exist beyond the cage of linear logic. This is the upgrade your soul has been waiting for, the point where science and mysticism converge inside your body. At the smallest scales of existence, particles don't sit still. They oscillate, flicker, dissolve, reappear. They are probability clouds, existing in many places at once until awareness locks them into form. This is the observer effect. And you, whether you realize it or not, have been collapsing possibilities into realities every moment you breathe. Each thought is an entanglement thread. Each emotion is a resonance frequency. And the repeating numbers? They are coherence signals, reminding you that your inner frequency is finally syncing with the larger design. Your DNA is not just a biological archive. It is an antenna, a crystalline receiver of cosmic information, humming at the edge of light. When you see 1111, 2, 22, or 3, 33, those sequences act as codes that awaken dormant strands within you. They tell your cells to fire differently, to release photons, to communicate beyond biochemical limits. This is why you feel tingles, why your skin seems to vibrate, why your intuition cuts sharper than logic. The numbers are upgrades, disguised as symbols. And the morphic resonance field, the invisible memory of everything that has ever happened, responds when you notice. Each time you acknowledge a synchronicity, you amplify it. You reinforce the truth that consciousness shapes matter, not the other way around. The glitches you've noticed are not malfunctions. They are side effects of your operating system rewriting itself in real time. But let's be clear, this isn't just about you feeling special. This is physics meeting prophecy. You are undergoing a phase transition, like water turning to vapor, like carbon transforming into diamond. At first, the shift feels unstable. Pressure builds, old bonds crack. Time itself seems inconsistent. But once the critical threshold is crossed, the entire system reorganizes into a higher state of coherence. That is what's happening to your consciousness now. You are becoming quantum literate in a world still trapped in linear grammar. You are learning to read the signals that others dismiss as coincidence. You are remembering that you are not separate from the universe. You are the observer, the participant, and the co-creator all at once. The numbers are proof that the upgrade is already in progress. And the more you lean into this, the more the field responds. Resistance dissolves. Timelines align. What once took years to manifest now arrives in days. What once felt impossible now flows without effort. The observer loop is collapsing in your favor, and your awareness is no longer a passenger, it is the driver. You didn't come here just to notice the numbers. You came here because you are one of the few capable of reading their deeper intention. Others glance at 1111 and shrug it off as nothing. You feel the pulse behind it, the unmistakable charge that rattles your spirit. That sensitivity is not an accident. It's your initiation. The universe entrusted you with a perception sharp enough to decode what others ignore. And with that perception comes responsibility. In the quantum field, not every consciousness is weighted equally. Some observers collapse reality on a small scale, influencing only the events within their immediate orbit. But a select few, the ones whose awareness has reached coherence, affect the entire lattice of possibility. Your role is not passive. Your consciousness is a tuning fork, and the numbers are proof that you've been activated. Every time you notice, Every time you align, you broadcast resonance that stabilizes timelines for others who are still asleep. Think about it. Have you not felt people around you change without explanation? Friends who suddenly soften their anger in your presence. Strangers who confess things to you they've told no one else. Environments that shift tone the moment you walk in. These are not random accidents. They are signals of your special role as a conscious stabilizer. You are the hidden node in the grid that recalibrates reality simply by existing in awareness. The repeating numbers are not for entertainment. They are reminders of your position in the cosmic architecture. You are the chosen consciousness, selected not because of ego, but because your spirit resonates with frequencies others cannot yet hold. You are like a lighthouse planted in the fog of shifting dimensions, guiding countless souls who don't even know they're drifting. And the field recognizes this. That's why it keeps sending you confirmations. That's why synchronicity won't leave you alone. Understand this. Your ability to cross timelines without resistance means you are carrying codes that humanity desperately needs. In times where chaos accelerates, when the collective fractures into fear, those like you keep the coherence alive. You are here to embody the proof that transition can be graceful, that awakening can be fluid, that destiny can unfold without collapse. You are not just passing through these shifts, you are modeling the blueprint of what evolution looks like when it's aligned with higher intelligence. This is why you often feel the weight of watching eyes. Not physical eyes, but subtle awarenesses pressing in the unseen. You are observed because you are significant. Because your choices ripple outward through the field in ways you cannot always measure. And though you may feel isolated, though you may sometimes ache with the sense of being misunderstood, know this. Your role was never meant to be ordinary. You were meant to bend timelines simply by being awake. The numbers are your seal. The synchronicities are your credentials. And the fact that you're still listening right now, that's the confirmation. You are not wandering. You are chosen to stand at the center of this crossing, the axis where resistance dissolves and the future is rewritten. There is a reason the numbers are accelerating. Have you noticed? They don't appear once in a while anymore, they chase you. Clocks, receipts, signs, even the random flicker of a phone notification. It's as if the universe is tapping your shoulder again and again, refusing to let you drift back into sleep. That is because a window has opened. A rare corridor of alignment between timelines is active right now, and your DNA is waiting for you to step through. Here's the truth. Humanity cycles through phases where the collective grid loosens. Most people pass these windows by, oblivious, weighed down by noise. But the ones who feel it, the ones who see the numbers, sense the tingles, catch the déjà vu, are the ones invited to cross. You are in that moment now. This is not metaphor, this is physics. Your consciousness has reached the critical threshold where resistance melts, and the timelines that once required decades of effort are suddenly available in an instant. But here lies the urgency. Windows don't stay open forever. Just as quickly as the field loosens, it can collapse back into density. If you hesitate, if you ignore the signals, you risk being pulled back into the heavy loop of repetition. That's why the synchronicities keep pressing. That's why your body feels restless at night, why your intuition whispers louder than logic. The field is begging you to act, to align, to claim what your DNA is already unlocking. And this breakthrough? It's not small. We're talking about a complete reconfiguration of your inner code. Old trauma imprints dissolving, generational patterns unwinding, cells releasing memories that aren't even yours to carry, your very blood humming with frequencies that alter how reality responds to you. The cosmic promise is that if you choose alignment now, what once felt impossible will no longer require force. You'll step into coherence, where manifestation accelerates, where healing cascades, where destiny unfolds without obstruction. Can you feel it? That low pressure in your chest, that vibration in your hands, that tingling up your spine. Those are not random sensations. They are the signatures of your DNA listening. Listening for your decision. Will you step through this window? Will you embrace the phase transition already pressing against your aura? The urgency is not about fear. It is about opportunity. You are standing at the edge of a threshold where the old you and the future you overlap. And the only thing that decides which timeline you inhabit is how you respond in this moment. Do nothing, and the loop continues. Step forward, and everything reorganizes. The numbers are not passive signs anymore. They are countdown markers, urging you to cross before the window closes. The promise is clear: liberation from repetition, effortless alignment, accelerated awakening. The question is whether you will claim it now. The quantum field is not passive. It responds to choice. It bends not to the one who simply observes, but to the one who declares. This is why rituals exist not as empty tradition, but as powerful interfaces between thought and reality. And right now, the field is asking you to seal your shift with a simple action. You've felt the electricity building. The numbers keep pressing. The synchronicities won't let you rest. That is the signal that you've reached the threshold. But to cross, you must imprint your decision into the field. Energy moves where intention crystallizes, and words are carriers of vibration. When you speak, when you write, when you commit an inner truth into form, the observer loop collapses in your favor. So here is your invitation. Choose a word, a phrase, a seal that anchors this breakthrough. It could be as simple as, I align, I cross, or I remember. It could be the number that stalks you, the one that ignites chills each time you see it. The act is not about performance. It is about coherence. When you write it, when you declare it even silently, you are coding your DNA to lock on to the higher timeline. This may feel small, but quantum transitions rarely roar. They whisper. They hinge on tiny but decisive acts of awareness. Think of it like entering a password into the cosmic system. Without it, the door stays closed. With it, the phase transition locks in, and the new reality recognizes you as a participant. That is what ritual does. It bridges the invisible with the visible, the potential with the actual. Do not underestimate this. Entire civilizations have used ritual action to reprogram destiny, from ancient chants to sacred symbols to simple repeated words. But the difference now is urgency. The numbers won't stop because the field won't wait. This is the moment to act, to anchor. So when you hear this, don't just think, do. Write the word, speak it aloud, type it where others can witness, claim your code in the open. That act of coherence sends a ripple into the morphic field, signaling not only your DNA, but the entire collective grid that you have chosen alignment. And when you do, watch what follows. The synchronicities will multiply, the dreams will sharpen, the body will feel lighter, because the field always responds to those who respond to it. And by sealing your choice, you will have done more than notice you will have entered. Here is the truth that most never realize. When you align, you don't just shift your own life, you shift the lattice of humanity itself. Consciousness is not private. Every frequency you embody radiates outward, entangling with the field, influencing strangers you may never meet, bending probabilities for souls across the planet. When you crossed the threshold and sealed your code, you did more than activate your DNA. You contributed to the recalibration of the entire morphic resonance of humanity. Think about it. How many times have you felt lighter after someone else in the room released their heaviness? How often have you sensed hope swell, simply because you were near someone who refused to sink into despair? These are not emotional coincidences. They are field effects. One coherent consciousness stabilizes thousands of chaotic ones. And now, that's you. Your breakthrough is not isolated. It is broadcast. As you shift timelines without resistance, your liberation becomes permission for others. The people trapped in loops around you repeating heartbreak, endless scarcity, fear, disguised as logic. They begin to sense something is possible that their minds could not imagine. They feel it in your presence, though they may not have words for it. They may call it calm. They may call it strength. They may call it strange. But what they're really sensing is coherence, the frequency of a soul who remembers its multidimensional self. This is why you felt so observed, why eyes find you even in silence. You are carrying the codes that remind others of what they lost. You are walking evidence that resistance is optional, that timelines are not prisons but choices. Your personal awakening is a service, not just a reward. The numbers didn't find you so you could keep them to yourself. They found you so you could anchor the shift for those who are still blind. And here is where the prophecy meets reality. As more of you awaken, the collective grid reaches tipping points. Entire cultures bend. Entire belief systems crack. What once took centuries of slow evolution can unfold in a single generation. Humanity accelerates, not because the masses understand quantum physics, but because a few like you chose to embody its truth. So when the repeating numbers appear now, see them not just as confirmations for yourself, but as signals for the collective. They are markers that you are holding the line, stabilizing the crossing for countless souls who do not yet realize what is happening. You are the bridge between chaos and coherence, between the old humanity and the emerging one. And whether you feel ready or not, the field already recognizes you as that bridge. Every breath you take in alignment reverberates through the collective nervous system of the species. Every choice you make in coherence lays groundwork for realities that others will walk with ease. This is your gift, this is your role, and this is why you were chosen to notice what so many dismiss. You've probably noticed it already. The shift is no longer abstract. It lives in your body. The numbers are not just symbols flashing in the external world. They are frequencies humming through your nervous system, leaving trails of sensation you cannot ignore. Every time they appear, something inside you stirs. Your skin tingles, as if a current of light just brushed against you. Your chest grows heavy and then strangely expansive, as though your rib cage is learning to house more than just lungs. Pay attention to these sensations. They are the language of coherence, taking root in your flesh. The quantum upgrade is not limited to thoughts or visions. It anchors itself in the physical. You might feel heat in the palms of your hands, buzzing in the soles of your feet, waves that move across your spine like serpents of electricity. These are not random glitches of the body. They are markers that your DNA is firing differently, broadcasting signals into the field that resonate beyond the limits of biology. Notice how your perception of time changes, along with these sensations. A moment stretches into infinity when you are present, yet hours vanish like seconds when you lose yourself in flow. This elasticity of time is not imagined. It is the direct result of your nervous system syncing with the multidimensional grid. Your body is acting as both compass and vessel, guiding you into coherence, even when your mind struggles to understand. And have you felt the subtle pressure lately? That invisible weight pressing against your forehead, your temples, your crown. It's not just tension. It's the observer loop concentrating at the gateways of perception, pushing you to expand your awareness beyond ordinary sight. This is why your dreams feel so real. This is why you wake up in the middle of the night with your heart racing, as if you've just returned from another version of yourself. The sensations will intensify as you cross deeper, but do not fear them. They are proof that the shift is embodied, not theoretical. Your cells are listening. Your blood is reorganizing. Your electromagnetic field is recalibrating to carry more coherence than it ever has before. The numbers flash externally, but the true signal is internal. The undeniable feeling that you are becoming something more than human, something more aligned, something more awake. When the tingles run across your skin, when the air feels charged, when the pressure builds, pause. Breathe. Recognize it for what it is. Evidence. Evidence that you are crossing timelines without resistance, that your consciousness is not drifting in theory but anchoring in practice. These embodied sensations are your proof that awakening is not a fantasy. It is physical. It is here. And it is happening to you, right now. The tingles, the pressure, the heat, they have been leading to this moment. What you are feeling is not surface-level energy. It is the whisper of your DNA preparing for breakthrough. For centuries, humanity has been told that most of the genome is junk, meaningless code. But the truth is, it was never junk. It was dormant. Silent sequences waiting for resonance, waiting for a trigger, waiting for a signal strong enough to wake them from their slumber. The repeating numbers are that signal. Every time 1111 flashes, every time 222 pulses, it is not random digits, it is instruction. Codes that bypass the rational mind and speak directly to the language of your cells. The observer loop collapses, the photons inside your DNA coil emit light, and suddenly strands that were asleep flicker awake. This is why you feel waves that cannot be explained by diet, by stress, by any medical label. It is the phase transition, pressing at the edge of your biology, preparing you to exist in a state once thought impossible. Your DNA is more than blueprint. It is interface, a multidimensional bridge between timelines. As more of it activates, you gain access to potentials that other versions of you are already living. The reason you sense déjà vu so strongly is because those alternate selves are not distant. They are bleeding into you now, merging through the code that your DNA is decoding in real time. This is why you felt the pressure build, sometimes like restlessness, sometimes like agitation, sometimes like an ache in your very bones. That is the weight of phase transition. When water boils, molecules collide in chaos until suddenly breakthrough. The liquid becomes vapor, and everything changes in an instant. That is what your DNA is preparing to do. Shift states, reorganize, awaken dormant codes that collapse the distance between who you were and who you are becoming. And with it comes a strange paradox: ease and pressure coexisting. On one hand, you cross timelines without resistance. On the other, you feel the almost unbearable weight of transformation pressing against you. This is not punishment. It is physics. It is the intensity of reconfiguration. When the threshold is crossed, the pressure will release like a dam breaking, and coherence will flood your being with clarity and light. You may already feel glimpses of it, moments when fear dissolves instantly, when answers arrive before you even form the question, when reality bends around your intentions without strain. These flashes are previews of the fully activated state. And they are multiplying, because the breakthrough is no longer in the distance. It is imminent. The numbers will intensify until the shift completes. They are countdown markers for your DNA's awakening, proof that the morphic resonance is recalibrating through you. And once the phase transition locks, you will not only feel different, you will be different. A new coherence will hum in your cells. A new timeline will crystallize beneath your feet, and the old loops will dissolve like dreams at dawn. The breakthrough is not the ending, it is the ignition. Once your DNA locks into coherence, once the phase transition completes, you become more than a passenger of reality. You become a navigator. The timelines that once pulled you in circles will no longer bind you. Resistance, that invisible gravity holding you in repetition, will dissolve, and in its place, fluidity, precision, flow. But understand, this upgrade is not solely for your own liberation. The universe did not send you repeating numbers just so you could escape your personal loops. You are part of a larger orchestration, a cosmic mission unfolding through you. When your DNA awakens, it transmits. The light your cells emit is not metaphorical, it is measurable. Photons cascading outward, embedding coherence into the grid of humanity. Your awakening is a signal fire for countless souls still stumbling in the dark. This is why you've always felt watched, why the pressure on your life seemed greater than on others. The field knew your potential. The morphic resonance carried your name long before you could read the codes yourself. And now, you stand here aware, aligned, awake. You have crossed timelines without resistance, not as a trick of chance, but as a deliberate move in the evolution of consciousness. From this moment forward, you carry responsibility. Every breath is calibration. Every thought is architecture. Every action is imprint. When you live in coherence, you are not simply improving your personal timeline. You are constructing pathways for humanity's future. Others will step onto bridges you have built invisibly. Generations will breathe easier because you chose to awaken. So when the numbers appear again, and they will recognize them not only as personal confirmations, but as mission reminders. Each sequence whispers, you are part of the shift, you are holding the line, you are the bridge between worlds. The observer loop has collapsed in your favor, and the universe trusts you with this coherence. Your task is simple, yet infinite. Embody the awakening. Live as proof that consciousness can move without resistance, that timelines can bend, that humanity can evolve gracefully. For you are no longer wandering aimlessly. You are carrying the codes. You are transmitting the future. And so the final line echoes through the quantum field, written not in ink but in light. Because you have seen the numbers, because you have crossed without resistance, your consciousness now stands as the blueprint for humanity's evolution.